Hey everybody, how's it going? Excuse me. Got another model here that I did during my weekend of painting, which is started from scratch actually. The plan for my painting was to just do things that I had started. I have a few more models that are still paint in progress, but when I did the dry fitting for this guy, just seeing what it would look like, I had to do it. I thought the pose was just really cool. So what we have here is an Exocists Champion model, kit bashed with the Masters of the Chapter Thunder Hammer that comes with the Masters of the Chapter box. I think you can buy him on a blister by himself. I don't remember which master he is. Maybe Fleet. It doesn't matter. He's the one with the Thunder Hammer. And this guy's painted up in the colors of the Exorcist chapter of Space Marines, who has a deep red color scheme. Let's see if it'll focus. Has a deep red color scheme with black backpack and black shoulder trim. They normally have a horn skull for a symbol, but I'm not freehanding that, and there's no transfers that I know of offhand. So there's nothing there. In games purposes, the way I plan to run Exorcists is I'm going to use the Black Templars Codex with Grey Knight allies. And the whole reasoning for that is the Exorcist background and foundations pretty unique for a Space Marine chapter. Their gene seed is thought to be partly based on the Grey Knight's gene seed, and as part of their training and becoming a Space Marine, they're voluntarily possessed by a lesser demon of the warp, and then through their willpower, they exorcise that demon from them. And then you get minor reconstructive surgery most of the times, and then they go off and fight for the Imperium. And that's why I'm going to put a Grey Knight squad with them, because when they first were tested out, there was a squad of Grey Knights held in reserve just in case they went rogue, because, they were possessed. But they were successful, and then the chapter was born, so I figure having Grey Knights with them kind of fits. The chapter is trained similar to the Grey Knights for knowing the demon and how to defeat the demon, but unlike the Grey Knights, they're an actual Space Marine chapter and not a chamber militant of the Inquisition, so they fight other things. Like they fought in the 13th Black Crusade, they fought in the Armageddon War, or the Third Battle of Armageddon, and they fought in the Badab War, and other things there, I'm sure. So they don't just fight demons or chaos. And the reason why I'm doing Black Templars is they're described as being an aggressive chapter, and I felt that the crusading style of assaulting that these Black Templars are good at, but not even the assaulting, just the crusade feel and style of the Black Templars would go well with the Exorcist fluff, although using the standard Space Marine Codex would work just as well too. But I went with the Black Templars, and so this guy in game would represent an Emperor's Champion. The black sword, as it was stated by Games Workshop, it does not actually have to be a sword. It can be any weapon. And I felt the hammer, the Thunder Hammer look, fit with the anti-demon because of the demon hunters being the Ordo Malleus and the Grey Knights being an offshoot of the being the Chamber Militant and hunting demons. And I felt these guys being essentially a bit of an offshoot of that. I felt the hammer was fitting. This guy's name, I named this guy. His name is Henry, because it's kind of funny and fitting. If anybody picks up on the little joke there, that's points to you. What else? He's the only model I've painted in the Exorcist color scheme, and I plan to do more. I actually do plan to make an army of them, because I just really like the color scheme, and their fluff is cool. I have a whole plan on feeling them out, like an army list idea of what I would do. Essentially, the Grey Knight allies would be Terminators. Only because I like Terminators. Although, depending on the points and the tactics, maybe it would be just Grey Knights and Power Armor, but I'm believing I'm going to do Terminator allies for the Grey Knights. As far as vows go, because it is going to use a Black Templar's Codex, it's going to have an Emperor's Champion model. Accept no challenge no matter the odds is A, a great vow to take always, and B, does fit in with the fluff. The other vow that would fit pretty well with the fluff is Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch, which, for those of you that don't know, it's based on the enemy having a Psyker, and after a base setup, but before first turn goes, and everything, if there's a Psyker in the enemy's army, even if it's not on the board, every unit, including vehicles in the Black Templar army, makes a D6 consolidation move towards the nearest enemy unit. Which is pretty cool. I mean, it gets like your infantry going, even if they're in transports, it gets everything moving, surging forward. Also, minor psychic powers don't work on them, but no codex that I know of has minor psychic powers anymore, so that's kind of obsolete. Also, psychic powers that target the Black Templar's army, well, in this case the Exorcists, or includes them in the area of effect or nullified on a 5+, kind of like how the Witch Hunters have it. It just represents them being warp resistant, kind of like how they are because they were possessed by a demon. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything for the new Chaos Demons Codex, so that fluff-wise doesn't really add up. But it's just, a cool little vow that fits in with their fluff, and most people don't take that vow because getting preferred enemy is a lot better overall. But if I were to have these guys competitively, I think like if they were in R boys, for example, I'd take accept any challenge from the odds because it's better. But I do like the Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch for the fluff of the Exorcists. How I got the color scheme, in case anybody's wondering, is Chaos Black undercoat with Mechrat Red over it for the red, and then that red is red gore, and that's it. And then it's just a black backpack. One thing I will say, when you're dry fitting models, kit bashing, always dry fit them first. And B, dry fit them with everything. When I first dry fitted this model, I didn't account for the backpack, so I didn't have the backpack on. Luckily, the model fit well enough together, so it looks fine for the most part. I mean, you can see kind of like a little discrepancy in the joint there, but it's not worth the green stuffing at the moment to fix. I might do that later, but overall, when you look at it on a gaming standpoint, he looks fine. Like he's not meant to be looked at up close and personal. If we really wanted to, I could break off the armor and really make it fit better with green stuff, but as it stands now, I'll only do that if he breaks. But if you really want to make your models perfectly flush, that's what I was just doing, especially for this guy, green stuffing into his joint, probably breaking him off, pinning it, and green stuffing it. It doesn't matter. Other than that, always dry fit things, even if you're not kit bashing any model, especially vehicles, and if you're going to kit bash, dry fit. Other than that, I'm really happy with how he turned out. I really like the pose. It looks like he's just going to shred in there and start breaking things. So that's pretty much it. Until the next one, take it easy.